All right, so we took a brief run around the block. You're moving again. You're actively engaged. You use selective recruitment to jump into the ones that you needed to make that happen without a doubt. You already look more beautiful. Very good. You got the glow. Y'all are rocking it now. Okay? Again, so jump over with me to page 98. Now, when we compare little bitty motor neurons to giant motor neurons, I want to give you a way to remember this. Y'all are struggling on the back row, aren't you?
Yeah, this is mainly me. I think I should cross over the line a couple of times.
Go long enough to do that. Okay, so when we think about motor neurons, the little bitty motor neurons have a really quick firing rate. Okay? In reality, could I probably keep picking this pin up and dropping it for the next 3 hours?
Oh, yeah.
You really could. Because they have this quick, repetitive firing rate. So when you think about tiny motor neurons, I want to give you a memory technique to use this. I want you to think about a machine gun. You go through the end of that, all of a sudden it loads instantly and quickly. Snap on another magazine, roll. Snap on another magazine and roll. So little motor units have a short, quick firing rate. But remember, these, that's all they got. They can go quick, but they can't do very much. So I want to use selective recruitment to get to the more bigger and faster. So whenever I get to these more bigger motor neuron units, I want you to think about those like a cannon. So, give me that sound again, I liked it. So here's my question. Has anyone in here ever seen a cannon explode, or you can mentally get that picture in your mind, yes? Does it take just a split second to reload a cannon, or does it take a couple minutes to reload a cannon? It takes a couple minutes. You know, they popped up all the stuff that you do to reload a cannon. All of those things. So tiny motor neurons are rapid fire. Big motor neurons are explosion fire. So you can use these or you can use these. But here's what you have to understand. If you're not trained, you can't get to the cannons. So choose your firing squad wisely. Do you want friends that can fire cannons? Yes. Yeah. That's what you want to make it happen. Do you want athletes that can fire cannons? Yes or no? Yes. Would it ever be beneficial, gentlemen on the back row, to have one of your athletes being superior at exhibiting less force? No. No one ever asks you for that, do they? No. But unfortunately, there are some people not here that would have their athletes designing a program that they would really and truly be really good at this. Never been to the power cleaning pin competitions, have y'all? Let's think about what we want to be good at it. Your body will respond to whatever you ask it to. Say got it when you got it.
Got it.
Now, we've already talked about the neuromuscular junction over and over and over again. Let's talk about this thing called neuromuscular reflex potentiation. Hey, it sounds like a really hard thing, but it's not. Look at that big word, neuromuscular reflex potentiation. Let's just call it what it is. We talked about machine gun, yes? We talked about cannon, yes? So let's talk about the other coolest thing on the planet would be a slingshot, yes or no? Did y'all ever see those? Did y'all ever have, I know I bought them for both of our boys, those things called a wrist rocket, where all of a sudden it's the big one that's right here and you're, yes or no?
Yes.
All right, so let's say that I come in with a wrist rocket or I come in with a rubber band. Which one is going to be more forceful? Which one is going to have more potential to slam that rock 200 yards? The wrist rocket. I want you to understand that your body has been put together so beautifully that in your body you have within your soleus, put your hand on it right now, go. You shouldn't be going. Where is your soleus? This should be something that you no longer have to think about, okay? Stored within your soleus as it comes down and it connects to your Achilles tendon and goes under your foot, you have so much elastic stored energy in there that we are not tapping into everything that we need to be. One of the most forceful motions that we need to train in our athletes and in our clients is the ability to powerfully plantar flex. It's the first thing that you do when you exhibit power. And it's because of that stored energy in that soleus. The soleus hooking to the Achilles tendon really and truly is like the wrist rocket of athletic performance. So isn't it funny that is the soleus a huge muscle? No, but it's put together by design to when it is under tremendous force, it can release a ton of potential stored energy. So that's why plyometrics are actually amazing at helping us develop soleus potentiation. It's almost, when we talk about in physics, it would be elastic stored energy, and it will allow you. This is when we vertical jump. This is when we power clean. And I don't know if you've realized this, but you could not leave this room if you could not plantar flex. I mean, you could, but from now on, what if you no longer could plantar flex? How amazing could I pitch the baseball if I could not plantar flex? Couldn't do it. How high could I jump if I couldn't plantar flex? You couldn't. So we need to understand this, and we need to tap into that in our training programs. So do we need our athletes to do powerful things to get powerful? Yes. All of these explosive things that are found over here in these type 2X fibers are where the potential happens. And we've actually measured it in the soleus with it put together. So don't neglect your soleus. Don't neglect your soleus. It's the wrist rocket of athletic performance without a doubt. And how do we study this? We do this thing called an EMG. And by doing an EMG, we're actually seeing the fibers that are activated and the fibers that are not. Would the goal be to have as many fibers glowing on the EMG as possible? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Remember, untrained people give up how much? 29%. Untrained people give up 29% of what they have going on. And something else that we've learned about people that are untrained. People that are untrained experience this thing called really, everybody has a little bit of cross-education going on. People that are Fab 5 trained have more cross-education. So what is cross-education? Cross-education is basically when I do something on this side experiences benefits as well. It crosses that synapse through the brain, and it actually can affect one side. So some of the studies really and truly have shown that you can increase your strength up to 22%, maybe only as low as 5 or 8%, but you can increase the strength on one side by training the other side. Which group of people is that hope for that are specific in your world right now? The injured athletes, stroke victims. If you have an injury, whether it's a traumatic brain injury, whether it has been due to surgery, when you have an injury and you really let yourself train the side that is trying to recover, there is transfer from one side to the other. So it's a really interesting thing that goes on. So do you think someone that's used to Fab 5 training potentially could carry over more than people that are untrained? Yes, because your body will respond to whatever you ask it to. You know what cross-education is also something that's interesting for? God bless you. Cross-education says, hey, maybe we need to do some unilateral training every now and then. Hey, when was the last time you did some pretty serious single leg squats? Y'all know I think that squats are the answer to our life's problems. When was the last time you did some single leg squats? I actually did them yesterday too. I don't know why. Yesterday must have been single leg squat day. Did who? Pistols. How much facilitation of muscular fibers do you have to recruit to do pistols or do single leg squats? About all of them. There's no getting over that. So think about someone that's just learning how to do a single leg squat that hasn't been training. What's the percentage of the muscle fibers they're giving away? 29%. So as I continually practice and get better at it, I'm giving away fewer of those fibers, so I become more efficient at doing the exercise correctly. So you got it when you got it? Now, there's also this thing called a bilateral deficit in untrained individuals. So let's just say that untrained individual wakes up one morning and he or she decides that this is the day I'm hitting the gym. So I walk into the rack, and the first thing I do is I go over to the dumbbell rack and I do bicep curls, because that's what everyone does when they come back to the gym for some reason. And it's crazy. So all of a sudden they're like, well, I'm going to the 30s and I can do 30 here and I can do 30 here, and I'm making it just fine. I'm making it just fine. I'm making it just fine. Well, I'm not just going to do one bicep exercise. I'm going to do another bicep exercise. So he or she goes over to the easy curl bar and puts on 60 total pounds of weight. Can't do it. But can the trained athlete do that? A lot more efficiently, because they're not giving away how much? 29%. They're using every single one of those fibers to the benefit of the event that they're asking the body to do. Again, these were done by EMG primarily on untrained individuals. The takeaway for us is two things. When we start off with untrained individuals, we need to know why they can't do some things. They're not ready to. We got to get back that 29% that we've been giving away. So that takes time for your body to adapt back to that. So you can't expect a neuromuscular system, number one, that's not mature, or number two, that hadn't been firing at 100% to lift at 100%. So this is when you take care of the people that are just joining your program, and this is whenever you talk to the people in your program about why they have to keep that 100%, or they're going to be giving it away. So got it when you got it. Nice job. Come over to me on page 100. Okay? Stand up and stretch. Brief break, man. I'm going to bring caffeine for all of y'all when we come back together. Okay? Hey, I figured out that this